Youth unemployment in Uganda is a very big challenge. It's a very big problem because we have about 80% of our population aged below the age of 30. And out of that, 75% of them are actually not employed or they are unemployed. So through the project funded by Challenge Fund for Youth Employment, which we call Trees Times Bees, we aim to reach over 1,500 jobs for young people in Uganda. And we do that through skilling them in beekeeping as a business. So not just doing beekeeping as a hobby, but beekeeping as a business. And we integrate that also with growing of high-value tree crops like coffee and macadamia. So it's very interesting for young people because bees provide quick money for the youth through sale of honey and other bee products. And whereas the high-value tree crops like coffee and macadamia eventually, in the long run, they will provide high incomes for the young people that we are targeting under Trees Times Bees project. So it is very interesting. It's an interesting business model because we also integrate it with access to finance. So we have the Agriculture Business Fund where the young people work with actually do access cheap loans to grow their beekeeping businesses. My personal motivation, and of course it's also anchored in the organization that I work for, Woord and Daad, is the issue of really addressing climate change. It's a serious issue, we are in an emergency, it's a crisis, and therefore the jobs that we are creating, not only for the young people, they should be green jobs. So, and what's exciting for our Trees Times Bees project is that it's all nature-based, so we are providing nature-based solutions. Beekeeping alone is actually a nature-based enterprise because the bees rely on trees and other crops for food, which we call forage. So trees can, if we cut down trees, it means bees will not have food. And if they don't have food, the forage, it means there will be low production. And that would also now affect the incomes that the beekeepers would be expecting. So it's all really nature-based. So my motivation for working on green jobs is basically to say that we come up with jobs that are environmentally friendly, that contribute to sustainability of the resources that we are engaging to improve livelihoods. Organizations can attract youth through green jobs by, first of all, engaging them, allowing them to be part of the business models, allowing them to be part of the design process. In case it's a project, we need to have the youth on the table, listen to them, listen to their views, and then design projects that cater for the aspirations of these young people. So we tend to think that actually young people don't know what they want, but they actually know what they want. What they lack is information. What they lack is a platform where they can also be consulted and their views and voices are heard. So organizations need to have the youth on the table, but also they need to make decisions that are youth-friendly and youth-inclusive. So organizations also need to think about how they integrate access to finance, how they help these young people to access markets, because it's one thing to think about a product, but it's another to have market for that product. So access to finance is also very, very critical, so that eventually the youth who are engaged in producing so many things actually eventually have market to sell them. We are talking about green transition, so companies need to think about, they need to remodel their businesses so that they can come up with business solutions that are environmentally friendly. And then secondly, they need to think about the social impact as well. Social impact in terms of the impact of that business on the environment, first of all, because the business can eventually collapse in the long run because climate change affects all of us, including businesses. So a business should be able to come up with solutions or models that are environmentally friendly so that we sustain businesses that are not going to exploit our environment. And then secondly, the issue of markets. We talk about now eco markets, even markets have to be friendly. We talk about consumer rights, so that consumers also have a right. Companies, businesses should think about products that actually meet the needs of the consumers. Not products like in this, if it's a business in food, for instance, it shouldn't be food that is poisonous for the people, food that is going to hamper the health of the consumers. So all those aspects need to be included, and as well as impact on the social impact, in this case, the women, the young people. So businesses also need to start thinking about how they include vulnerable groups like women and youth in their business models, because when we talk about youth, they're actually the majority. In my country, Uganda, like I said earlier, the youth are the majority, and then women, they're about 51% of the population of Uganda. So those groups need to be targeted and also included